Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It is Adam Ratliff with Adam So Fun, and what's going on? I don't even know. Let me just be honest. I was totally on time, and then I left to go do something. Apparently, I was one moment, please, to myself. I don't know what I really left for. No, I do. I was kind of walking around the house looking at things that I don't know. I don't remember. Did we talk about this? Did I make this before the last video? I don't remember. But I've also been playing on some other stuff. I've been gone and back and here and there. I just got back from South Carolina, where I was at the Bernina World of Sewing event. That was insane, amazing. If you're ever in Raleigh, where are all their shops? Raleigh, and then there's the one place in South Carolina, south of Myrtle Beach. And then there's the other one, Wilmington, North Carolina. I'll be in Spokane later this month. Oh no, when am I going to Spokane? I'm flying into Spokane on Tuesday. Wednesday? Not this week, next week. But I'm just driving through. I'm flying, I'm picking up a car and driving to Missoula. That's a whole other story. Yeah, I was at Bernina World of Sewing. It was such a great week. I was with Amanda Murphy, and she's like, I want to test this new class and this and that. And it worked, which is like, okay, that was awesome. It was a crazy class. Let's see. We had 5 990 machines, which is Bernina's top of the line combo machine. We had 4 16, I think there was some 16 pluses and some 20s on the new Bernina hoop frame. And then Cheryl, I'll wave. And then we had 3 20 and 24s with Q-matic. And so essentially the students were in round robin classes. So every 3 hours they went to a new session. So they ended up having 6 sessions total. And it was 4 for the first 2 days, and then 2 other ones that they kind of switched back and forth. Well, the first 2 days were when we were teaching, and they came in, and so they're in a round robin already. And then in our class, it was a round robin within a round robin. So they would do an hour on the 990s, an hour on the hoop frames, and then an hour with Q-matic. And basically the class was, this is how different ways you can finish quilts, because not everybody is going to fit a long arm in their house. Maybe you're on a stationary long arm. Maybe you have an embroidery module. And so the embroidery people were doing embroidery, or E to E in the hoop. And then the next people were doing pantographs on hoop frame. And then I was Q-matic. And so I kept telling people, I'm like, I'm sorry. If you start here, I'm sorry. You're starting at the easiest one. We're going to push start and then just get to chit chat. And so we set it up and everything and talked about it. I don't know. It was great, but it ended up being 100 people over those 2 days because there's 25 people per class. It was just insane, but it's so much fun. It's, me, I love teaching. It was very rewarding. And so that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I got home Sunday night. And then yesterday I was supposed to go to the studio, but I didn't get a chance because I was getting all this other stuff done for the next 2 months, some calls to make and everything. So, and then today I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow. So it's just, it's life. It's life. But yeah, I had such a great time. There's something in the mail heading our way because it was a great time. I'll share it when it gets here. And then Ben, I think, has got his quilting bug back, which is nice. So he was quilting while I was gone. He has a lot of these patterns that he bought or kits that he bought. So I talked to him and he's like, I'm just looking for the kit that doesn't have the amount of cutting I know is going to be needed. And it's funny, the one he got, because the center block, let me go grab it. One moment, please. Okay, so this is a medallion quilt. I don't know what the kit's called. I could probably figure it out. But this is the medallion at the center. And what he told me is that he picked the kit that had the least amount of cutting. I don't I don't know. That's a lot of half square triangles. I'm sure they were due to. Did he? Those two are the same. Yeah, they were two at a time, but still, it looks so good. He's like, you can definitely see where I started and then where I was getting back into it, and it was filling my 1/4 inch. He's such a perfectionist. So this is fun, but it's even laying flat. I was talking to him, and I'm like, "What's that sound?" He goes, "The Laura Star." So he was using his Laura Star because he has his own because he irons every day for work. But my favorite part of everything is that I keep finding like pieces. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, I cashed that check. I just got it yesterday. I keep finding pieces of like cuttings and stuff, like slivers of cutting and stuff all over the house. And it makes me laugh because I know that I leave that stuff. So like now that both of us are leaving it, I feel better. I feel better about myself. I don't feel as bad. So other things. So big thing. Well, if you are on Facebook, you've probably seen this. If you're on Instagram, you might have seen it. When did I record this? Right before the start of the month, I went and recorded a podcast with my friends over at the Social Hour, and I will. Ooh, how can I link it? Let me see. I have an idea. So I recorded a podcast with them, and it just went live today. Copy link. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to text it to myself. Paste. And then I'm going to go back in here to myself and copy it. Copy. And now I can come back over here, and I will paste the link into the comments. So here's the thing. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you just got the link to the Social Hour podcast, my episode. If you're on Instagram, I can't paste links, but can I tag at I don't know if it's going to come up. See, I don't know if I can do a tag from here. All things I need to learn, right? It's at the Social Hour podcast. Let's see if this works. We'll see if whatever. That's where it is. You can go find it. And then the link will be in their description. But I recorded a podcast with them, had so much fun. It was just great to chat. I love to chat. Okay, good. Woo! You can see it over there. So yeah, I got to hang out with them and chit chat with them and just have a good time. I met Bethany in Australia, which you'll hear about if you go listen to the podcast. And then I met Audra. I actually met Audra in Houston last year because she does some work with Sally Tomato, and they were next to us. So I was showing her how on the Laura Star I could put the Laura Star on vinyl and not melt it as long as I had the Teflon protective sole plate. I just got a text from Ben responding to a text I sent him like 2 hours ago. But yeah, it's so it was fun just getting to chit chat with them a little bit. I think I'll be back on for a thread talk. I said, you can get my friend Mickey if you had enough of me. But they're super fun. And so check out the Social Hour. They have a Facebook group. The social something. It's in the podcast. So let's see. Michelle says if he does the accordion half square triangle, it would be fast and easy, except he doesn't know that, Michelle, so he can't. Although he could just use my handouts or the ones that I got from Miss Beth. Bonjour. I was watching the podcast on YouTube. Oh, that's right. It is on YouTube too. I forgot. So far, it's excellent. Well, thank you, Carrie. Carrie, I don't think you would tell me if it wasn't. I think even if it sucked, you would tell me it was good because you don't want to hurt my feelings. Hello to Miss Maria, who I missed while I was in North Carolina because we were just so busy. It was just such a great event. It was just such a great event. It was crazy though, because we're all kind of in a hotel together. And so you wake up at 6. I like to go to the breakfast at 6. But sometimes I go to breakfast at 7 when it's a weekend and they're not open at 6. So then you're eating at 7 and in your classroom at 8 to start classes at 8:30. So yeah, and then at the end of the day, you're flipping all the classrooms, making sure you're ready for the next day. It just makes for it's a lot of work. Good work, rewarding work. So yeah, I did have so much fun. So yeah, Social Hour podcast came out today. So make sure you check that out. My non-quilty friend was listening to it and she goes, okay, so what's a purple thing? Okay, what do you mean by pinning? She's like, you really know your stuff. I said, yes, there is this whole other side of me that you have no clue about because she doesn't do social media. So that made me laugh. Energy drink. It's one of those weeks. And then it's monsoon season. Yesterday we got a crazy wind and thunderstorm. Lots of rain, flooding, but not near me. So we're okay. But I'm driving to Phoenix tomorrow and they had a haboob, which is a windstorm. So like, oh my gosh, I had people texting me going, I know you're going to Phoenix. If you're there, like, be careful. So lots of stuff. Watching you from Deschutes River property. Ah, Donna. The most beautiful Deschutes River property. Yeah, if you're ever wrap the Deschutes, you just wave it, Lynn and Donna. If they're up there, I'm sure they're sitting out by the river. It was that was so funny. I'm so glad she was out. Big dust storms. We didn't have dust storms here, but yes, there was a. Do you have dust storms in Dallas right now? Never mind, Houston. I'm talking to people who are commenting. The ones that know where they live. Okay, so what else is going on? So podcast just launched today. That was fun. Oh, I did, because people are always say like, where are your links? Do your links work here? I wonder if I can do this. Well, I don't want to try it right now. I wonder, one moment, please. Oh, I'll talk while I try to do this. Because I have I updated my link tree. So now you can go to one place. Oh, this might work. Copy and Instagram and go to me. That's me. I want to edit. I want my account. Well, I should have thought of this earlier. I bet you I can edit my account info, personal details. Profiles, that's what I want. Instagram profile. Name, avatar. Well, no, that didn't work. I'm sure somewhere here I can go on. I don't want, details. Well, that's weird. Nope, this is not where I want. If I can, I will try to find out where I changed the link in my Instagram info and put the link tree into Instagram too. But it has different sections. So it's going to have a section that says like ASF 10 discounts. And then it's going to have a section that says like Linda's code is ASF 10 AP. Like, so it has the links to different places, or just places where there's links that I have affiliate links, but maybe not a discount. And I'm sure there's something that I forgot, but I would expect you all to remind me. You're very good. That haboob in Phoenix was insane. I saw a video of somebody driving into it, and we've been in a haboob here in Palm Springs. We didn't know we were in it. until we got out of it. But you're driving and it's a dust storm, so it's really dark and like almost like it's night when they're huge. And then all of a sudden you're in like just regular clear daylight. It was the craziest thing when we saw ours. Personal details. That's what I want to change. Sharing customers, logging on, personal details. That's not what I want to change though. So yeah, so stay out of a haboob. They're not fun. And then I'll figure that out. So yeah, so I did that. I updated those links. I posted it on Facebook, but now you have it if you're on YouTube and Instagram, just like normal. Gotta get it somewhere else. I wonder, I'll post it over here. It's not like you can do anything with it. The link doesn't work, but you can like highlight it maybe. I don't. That Instagram needs links to work. Okay, what else has happened? I was at Bernina Roll of Sewing. I did buy some stuff. It's not exciting. Well, this part's not exciting. Well, no, it is exciting. I finally got this book for making rope bowls. I've been wanting it for a while. Mickey bought it at a show. And the only thing I want to make is coasters. So they have these. Let me find it. I'm going to get hooked. I already know I'm going to get hooked. Oh, no, I want to make some placemats. But I want to make these coasters. And so our house is white walls. But we have a lot of citrus colors and then peacock. So we have like a lot of orange and yellow, a little bit of green. But then we have like peacock as our accent color. So they actually had this kind of peacock teal. So I thought coasters would be nice here, but they had this orange and yellow. So this is rope. This is from the Mountain Thread Co. I think like she's the main roper. And I think this is from Catherine Lyle. Catherine Lyle. I think this is her kind of rope. I don't know. All I know is that Mickey says it's good. And if Mickey says it's good, I'm going to buy it. So I am going to make rope bowls at some point. I don't know when, but I'm going to make it. In case, we did talk about this because somebody was asking about it in class. But this is my jelly vinyl bag. I love it. I threw some stuff into it. I'm going to make another one. And not try to French seam it. I was thinking that I would just rip the seams out. But I think because of how the zipper's on, I'm just going to leave it. Leave it as is. I mean, it's fine. Maybe I'll do a different stripe. Maybe I'll do vertical stripes or something. I don't know. But I do like this. So this is my jelly vinyl zipper bag that I made up the pattern for. So don't ask me what the pattern is because I made it up. There's that. I do have a project in the makes. Well, I have like two things. So on the Bernina 990, I can go in and I can take a stitch, and they call it jumbo stitch. And I can then take it to my embroidery module and blow it up. So basically, in theory, any stitch in that 990, I can now blow it up and make it an edge stitch. Continuous line. Excuse me, because stitches all start and end on the same plane because they have to continue to stitch. So I went in the other day, and what I did is I took those stitches because they're stitches, but then when you take them into embroidery, it converts them to an embroidery file. So an embroidery file type. So I went in and I took some of those embroidery files, and now I'm opening them up in Art and Stitch on my computer. I saved them to a disk. I'm going to open up into Art and Stitch, and then I'm going to digitize those as long arm. And then I'm going to stitch them on the long arm. Because if I do anything outside the box. And like I'm looking at a mermaid stitch right here on my screen, and it's super cute. I think there's going to be a little bit of zhuzhing involved, which is fine. I don't mind that. But I think the reason for that is I'm going to have to, I'm looking for this BQM file. I'm going to have to just kind of smooth out some of the lines, because in like a sewing machine or in embroidery, each stitch is placed, right? You're plotting your actual stitches. So if you want a satin stitch, you're putting a stitch on the left and a stitch on the right because it needs to jump to make the satin. Same thing with embroidery. In a long arm, you can't put a stitch on the left and a stitch on the right because you tell it to stitch 10 stitches per inch or 12 stitches per inch. So if this is a 1/4 inch, you're taking a few stitches there and there. So you can stitch back and forth, but it's not a true satin stitch because you're stitching back and forth. So these have the stitches planned, but because of that too, and if I blow it up, because it's stitches, it's not smooth lines. So I have to go through and like smooth the lines out. But I think it's going to be worth it. I might actually not smooth the lines out and just stitch it as is. So I can say like, this is what it looks like if you don't smooth out the lines. I'm pretty impressed with myself. If I have to be honest. That's a running stitch. What I love about Art and Stitch and like the long arm digitizers is you can watch it stitch out. And I just always think it looks good. Oh God. Oh God. Sorry. I do have my energy drink. What else is going on? I was playing last week. So, Carrie, remember when we were doing crochet? So, I'm like, I hope there's no comments coming in. There's probably, look, all these comments. It's a great book. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Love the vinyl bag. Could you serge the vinyl? You actually can serge the vinyl. I have a bag that we install the zipper with the vinyl or on a serger, and we serge the edges. You don't really need to serge the edges. I don't know why I thought doing a French seam was the way I wanted to go. Like, I thought that was just dumb. But I did think it, and I did try it. But yeah, you could serge the edges, but it's not like they're just going to fray. So you don't really need to. And I could have just top stitched like I did all the other ones, and it would have been fine if I was worried about that one seam coming down. Save it as non-smooth and work with it on a smooth file. Wait. I did. So I saved it as non-smooth, and then I figure I can smooth it out in the software if I decide to go that right. But I think I might just stitch them out not smooth and see what happens. But so I was on a crochet kick for a while, and I bought a bunch of this. And so this is called Dishy. Don't ask me. That's all I know. It's Dishy. Oh, there's stuff about it. So this is a Dishy cone. There's 760 yards. It is a worsted weight, number 4. You can machine wash and tumble dry it. And it's available at Knit Picks or Recrochet. I have affiliate links to both of those if you want to shop. I don't have a discount. I thought I did, but I don't have a discount there. But in my link tree, if you visit my link tree, you can see this. I don't remember these being that expensive, but I'm not sure. So, but I have this huge cone, and I have a bunch of these, and I was going to give them away because I'm like, I don't know. Why did I buy these? I thought I was going to make dish towels. I don't know. Or like wash rags or something. But I was out in the garage the other day and I saw it. I'm like, can I couch that? Will that work with the number 43 foot on my Bernina? And then I went and I got my number 43 foot on the Bernina, which is what this looks like. And I was talking to Ben about this morning. He said, hey, can you couch with the embroidery module? And I said, absolutely, you can. He goes, but do you just put it through a ruler foot? No, he asked me if you could couch with the rulers. And I said, well, you would need a couching insert to couch with rulers on the Bernina. The couching inserts go inside the 72 foot. So you essentially could couch and use rulers. And he's like, well, my friend wants to do this. And I said, well, why doesn't she just put the number 43 foot on and embroidery? He's like, well, can you do that? I said, yeah, you just tell it what foot it is. And then you just don't go all the way to the edge of your embroidery hoop. So on the number 43 foot, it has like this piece right here. And this directs the yarn or whatever into the side. And then you come down the hole. And then it stitches and couches, whatever. So I got into my educator bag because this is one of the feet I take with me whenever I teach. And I brought it out and I loaded my Dishy and I couched. So this is it's actually flannel. It was some extra from a quilt that I made. And so I was just trying to play around with some couching to see how the dishy worked, and it worked fantastic. Now, there were a few places that I saw that it didn't catch, and in those cases, I think it didn't catch because it got tight, like it got wrapped around something. I can't remember what it was. And I was recording, so I was trying to free motion quilt and record like this. And so that was fun. But it was just a trial, because you always have to have a trial. The other thing is, if you have one of these thread stands, this works great for dishy. So luckily I have a few of these ones because I use the bigger cones of like so fine and everything. So that was fantastic. So now it's like, okay, I have like 10 colors of dishy, because again, I was going to make, I guess, dish rags. Who knows? By the way, Carrie, I use those hot pads you sent me almost every day. So thank you. But if you were on, I think it was last week, I showed off that I got a bunch of colors of this La Espiga cording. And so I have a thought. And my thought is I'm going to try to do some thread painting, but with the, not really thread painting. I'm going to do some couching. So I have this. I drew myself basically a flower. Can you see it kind of on there? You can kind of see my flower. It's rather large. And I'm going to use this La Espiga cording to couch the flower. And so this is, I think this is going to be my outside. I haven't really decided. I do have a few more colors. And then this is going to be like an inner, like, so an outer petal, inner petal, and the little like fun things like these that go inside the petals. Maybe one of these with a circle. Stamen, maybe, is that what they're called? But I'm going to do something fun with this. I have some green, so I can add some leaves on the outside. But I'm just playing. I'm just playing and having fun, getting to know the new machines. I was going to go to the studio and do it, but I think I'm going to do it on the 990 with the integrated BISR, which is the Bernina integrated stitch regulator, because the 990 is here and I don't have to drive to my studio because I don't have time for that. Let's see, vinyl bags, fabulous, dish rags. We can do that on the Q16. Yes, you can do it on the Q16. Although I don't think that was a question. I think it was a statement. Let's see. I think that's what I have for you today. I'm looking around. I got the dog some treats. It's going to be the next 3 months, 4 months are just going to be crazy because I'm in and out. So tomorrow I leave to Scottsdale. So if you are going to the Rusty Barn in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is also called the Quilts, Crafts, and Sewing Expo in Scottsdale, Arizona, come by and see me. I will be up by the long arms. And then the week after that, I'm going to be teaching in Missoula, Montana. Let me make sure I know where I'm teaching. I'm so bad with names, but you know, when there's a different shop every week. So I'm going to be teaching at A Clean Stitch in Missoula, Montana, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. We are doing kind of a lecture demo-y class called Quilt It All. And we'll talk about the different types of quiltings, things you can do, different ways to do it and stuff. And then we will be doing 2 long arm classes. So you can check their websites for more details. And then the week after that, I will be in, did I do this? The week after that, I will be in Georgetown, Texas. So just north of Austin, where we will be having 3 different classes. I believe we're doing Quilt It All. We're doing a piece-by-piece class where you're going to come in and make a little project, trying out a bunch of different machines and things. Super fun. And then we will do a long arm class there. And then I'm going to be in Lewiston, Idaho for 1 day doing a long arm class. And then I'll be in Coeur d'Alene doing a long arm class and a piece by piece class. And then I'm in Shelton, Washington. And I think we're doing 2 days of long arm and 2 days of piece by piece. You're going to have to look at Annie's Quilt Shop. So Shelton, Washington is Annie's Quilt Shop. And Lewiston, Coeur d'Alene is Becky's Sewing Center. And before that is Georgetown, which is Poppy Quilt and Sew. And before that is a Clean Stitch in Missoula. So that's where I'm going to be. Where are you in Idaho? When am I in Idaho? The 18th, 19th, and 20th. No, yes. Yes, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So fun fact, I think I talked about this last week, but when I'm in Missoula next week, their airport's closed, which is why I'm flying into St. Louis. Or not St. Louis. I hope not St. Louis, or I picked the wrong flight. Flying into Spokane and then having to drive to Missoula, teach, and then drive back, which is fine. Not a big deal. I don't mind being in the car. I just put on a good book. I have like 4 hours left of the book I'm listening to. And I told my friend, I'm like, I'm going to be in the car tomorrow for 4 hours, but let me finish my book and then I'll call you. Because by tomorrow, I should only have like 2 hours left. Hi, Heather. Heather, your trip looked fun. Where am I going to be in October? Let's talk about, oh gosh, let's not talk about October. That's up in the air. I will be in Portland in October at every single one of the Montevilla shops. And then I'll be at the Washington State Quilt Show in Spokane, the 17th through the 17th and 18th. 17th, 18th, 19th, I think. There's this weird week. I'm going to leave on the 16th and I'm not going to get home until like the 30th. Because I have back to back to back. So that'll be fun. Hi, Chris. It was amazing. Gonna miss you in Houston, aren't I? Yes, I will not be in Houston this year because I'm gonna be everywhere else. Oh my God, can you believe the year's almost over? And I know that it's not. I know we're in month 8, but 8 is almost over. But it feels like it's flown by, and it's going to fly by because I'm somewhere different every week. Oh, it's the life. I love it. I wouldn't give it up, but it definitely is a lot of travel. Do you guys have any questions? I was chatting with someone yesterday or this weekend, and they're like, oh my gosh, it was a handy quilter to Bernina convert. And she's like, okay, these are things I'm trying to find out where we do, So it was, where's this button, where's that button and stuff, because it was relatively new. And then she goes, when you got yours, were you just amazed that it was so quiet? I said, honestly, yes. I said, I was listening to my book one day and I was on the other side of the room and the machine was running. And all I could think was, wait, I can hear my phone. She's like, I can't get over it. I can't get over it. It was funny. It's faster. Yes, it's always faster after the 4th. What are you working on? I'm cleaning the abyss. I saw you cleaning the abyss. I'm honestly, like anything that I'm working on is class samples for something. I do have like weird brain things like, let me pull these stitches out. But even then, it's just going to be a class sample. I have a little serged quilt I made out of just like strips that I'm going to sew a different stitch into each strip. So there's that. Question was, do I hear a lot of people float their tops? I do not float my top. There's nothing wrong with floating your tops. It's just a different way. I find, and I had this question this last week too, is that if a person bought a shop from if somebody buys a long arm from a shop that floats, they're more inclined to float because that's what the shop's going to teach them. I don't float my tops. I like to pin them. I like them to be stuck where I put them, and I don't have to worry about things moving or anything. But there's not like, that doesn't mean that if you don't float, it's moving around. It's just or if you don't pin, it's moving around. It's just that, to me, that's how I feel. I call it my not emergency blanket, my not emergency blanket. What's the word I'm looking for? Security blanket. Pinning my top is my security blanket. With the handy quilter machines, people would often, depending on how it's loaded, the original way to load it, the classic view, they would often take the top bar off, which was the higher bar of the two in that case. And that bar actually pushed down on the quilt top from the backing bar to make the quilt parallel. So you're stitching. So they would take that bar off and the quilt would load like this. And like this being the idle, and it would come up, and then this was the back bar here. And so I'm like, you can't leave that bar off. You don't have to use it, but you need that bar. Oh no, the AC went out last week. Ugh. My father-in-law's, well, they have two ACs, but one of them went out. At least the one in the house was working, Chris. It's too hot out here for not have AC, and it's swampy. I walked the dogs this morning, and Ben's like, does it smell like the Salton Sea? I go, it smells like a swamp. We're just not used to humidity out here. Okay, let's see. Do you think you'll do a stiletto tutorial? Nancy, did you listen to the podcast? Is that what you're asking about? Here's a project bag. Smells like the Salton Sea. That's funny. I think you're asking about talking about not pinning and using a stiletto instead, Nancy. And I was actually thinking about that because I hadn't heard the podcast other than just like chit chatting on the podcast. So I've been listening to it. I think I have 5 more minutes left. And I go, ooh, I should probably do a little thing. So I might, essentially you're just holding the intersections with the stiletto. And then as you stitch, you can use the stiletto to fold back the fabric to see where the crossover of those seams are to make sure that it's at the 1/4 inch. A lot of eyeballing, but, and then I put my stiletto right there and I drive it. And I love my Sawyer Creek stiletto. I'll put it on the list, Nancy. I hope you're doing, oh, you're not in, I was gonna say, I hope you're doing well in Florida, but you're in Georgia. But I hope you're doing well in Georgia. Let's see. The points queen. You are the points queen because you win all the points. Any other questions? I do have some quilting to get done. So if I don't have anything for you, it's going to be just a mess next week. I had all of the intentions to go. I'm like, I'm going to quilt 4 things. Yesterday, I was like, I'm going to go into the studio and I'm going to quilt 4 things. I didn't even get to the studio. But I did get to have dinner with Ben. So that made up for it. If there's no questions, I'm probably going to cut this short today. And we'll see you back. Maybe Mickey will join me next week. Make a note here. Make a note for Mickey to join the live. Oh, no, she won't. She's going to be at a quilt show. Maybe she doesn't leave until Wednesday. For those of you, in case you tried to use the ASF Tim discount at Grand Rapids and you only got 5%, I'm sorry. There was a confusion. Has been working on the next block. It's a round robin. It's a medallion quilt. So I don't know if he started the next round or not. My goal is to, by the end of the day, get the studio somewhat presentable so he can use my cutting table. Because like, I have my sewing room, which is one of our bedrooms. So we have a 3-bedroom house. We have the primary bedroom, my bedroom, which is my sewing room here in the house. And then I have the offsite studio. And then the other bedroom, which is his gym. So it has a treadmill and a bike. It's also the guest bedroom. When they come, we can fold out the couch. And then and that's where he put up his sewing machines or his sewing machine. So he was also cutting on like a little IKEA table. And I want to make him room on the big cutting table so he doesn't hurt his back because he's prone to backaches. Doing great in Georgia, still trying to figure out the time zones, so I know. We're 3 hours, I think. If you're East Coast, we're 3 hours from you. So 1 o'clock here is 4 o'clock there. That's what an Apple Watch is good for. I can say, what time is it in Georgia?
In Tbilisi, Georgia, it's 12:44 a.m.
Well, that was the wrong Georgia, but in case anybody wanted to know the country. Okay, that couldn't have been any funnier. So dumb. It was so easy to tell the Laura Star was keeping it depressing. Oh, yes. What else? All right. All right, peeps. Miss you guys. I hope to see you if you swing by, if you're going to the quilt show next week in Scottsdale, come by and say hi to me. I will be in the Bernina booth by the long arms. You can't miss me. Happy quilting. Check out that. If you are on Facebook, go join the Social Hour group. Follow the Social Hour podcast on Facebook and Instagram. They might have a TikTok too. But yeah, love you guys. Oh, Heather's waiting for her Laura Star. Heather, you're going to love it. If you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Anybody, if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Just shoot me a message. We'll see you in the next one. Maybe I'll do a live from the studio next week. That'd be fun. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Off to the races, everybody. Have a great one. Bye, guys.